Hello friends, it's Prajwal Pathak this side and you are watching my YouTube channel PyGuru. Friends, today in this tutorial we are going to create a GUI project and we'll be creating a simple PDF audiobook reader. Okay, this project will allow you to read PDF, the content of a PDF file. So before diving deep into the code, let me just show you what we'll be building by the end of this tutorial. So see, there are two files, application.py and the miner.py. So our code is distributed throughout these two files. So let me just run this and show you the GUI that we will be building. So this is the thing. Now what we can do, we can just load a PDF file from here. So here I have a PDF file which name is Ruskin Bond-Kite Maker Story. So let me just open it. Okay, now what I can do, I can read the content of a PDF file. So yep, let me just read this. So what I can do, I can just click this button and it will start reading the content.
Ruskin Bond's first novel.
Okay, so you can change pages from here and it will read it, something like this, and you can also open another PDF. So okay, so this is a simple PDF audiobook reader and we'll be creating it by the end of this tutorial. Okay, so let me just come here. So yep, let's get started. So for building this GUI we will require two libraries, the PyMU PDF library and the PyTT-SX3 library. Okay, now PyMU PDF is used to read and extract data from PDF files, while PyTT-SX3 is used to convert text to speech. Okay, what we will learn throughout this video: building GUI using tkinter, extracting pages and metadata from PDF. Then we will also learn threading and text to speech conversion in Python. Okay, now what are the steps to create this project? First of all, we'll build a GUI. Then we'll learn how can we extract pages and metadata from PDF and bind it to the GUI functions. Then we'll learn how can we extract text and convert it to speech. Then we'll learn we will apply threading so our GUI works smoothly without any stopping or freezing. Okay, so let's get started. So I do not need these two files now. Let me just close it. Okay, now see, I have created two files here, main.py and miner.py. Okay, so these are the two files that I have created and I will be coding the coding part in these two files. Okay, so inside the main.py file we will build the entire GUI and apply text to speech, while in the miner.py we will learn to extract data from PDFs. Okay, data can be metadata, pages and text extraction. So let's get started without wasting any time. So first of all, let's import some modules. So I'll be importing modules as per the need and I will just not import all the things at once. Okay, so first of all we'll need to import tkinter. So import tkinter stk. The next thing is import tkinter dot ttk as ttk. Now see, there are this is the main library tkinter. Okay, now this dot ttk is a module inside this tkinter. Okay, so dot ttk is simply a module inside the tkinter library and we generally use to style our tkinter GUI. Okay, don't worry, I will tell you its use in the later part of this program. Then we'll need okay, let's just do it something like this. Okay, and we'll import the rest of the modules with them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use class application. Now see here, it will inherit the tk.frame. So there are two ways to build a GUI in tkinter. Either you can inherit the entire root tkinter or you can inherit the frame. Okay, so we are inheriting the frame class of the tkinter. Now what is meant by this? Basically we'll be able to use all the properties of the frame. Okay, whatever properties are defined for the frame of the tkinter, we will be able to use all that in our application. The class application which is inheriting tk.frame, do not worry if you do not understand these few lines, 3-4 lines. Okay, and the rest will be able to understand. Okay, so the next thing is we have to initialize our class. So def init, and here we have to pass self. This is the reference keyword. You have to always pass it whenever you are creating class. And the next thing is master equals none. Now this is what we'll be passing master to this application and I will explain it in a moment. Don't worry. The next thing is we have to initialize our tk.frame. So super.init, and here we have to pass master equals master. The next thing is we are going to store two things here, self.master equals master, and then self.grid. Now see what does this means. Basically we will create a master application, or basically master is your window that we'll be creating in a moment, don't worry. So what we want to pass our master window as a frame. Okay, the next thing we have written here is self.grid. It means we'll be using the grid method to put things on our window. See, there are three types of methods that you can use to apply or put several widgets on the window. That is the grid method, place method, and pack method. So we are using the grid method. In the grid method, all the widgets we can put them using in rows and columns. Okay, in the pack method we have to pack it, and in the place method we can manually place any widget on the window using x and y coordinates. So we are using the grid method as it is easy and it's flexible to use. Okay, the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to create our master window. See, so here I'm just going to type if name equals main, so remember you have to use double underscores. Okay, so if name equals main, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a root which is created something like this. This root is our master window. Okay, when we will run this program, you will see we are getting a window. So root equals tk.tk. Then we have to define the geometry of our root. So geometry, root.geometry equal, and inside it I'm going to pass the width, which is 400 pixel, then the height which is 450 pixels. Okay, remember 400 multiplied by 450. Remember this x sign. Okay, do not use the asterisk symbol here. The next thing is I am going to pass is plus 400. Now plus 400 means the distance from the here sorry, you can see this left side. Okay, the distance from the left side will be 400 pixel, and the distance from the above side is 170 pixel. What this will do, whenever this will open the window, it will be 400 pixels away from the left side and 170 pixels away from the above side. Okay, so root.geometry is this. The next thing is root.title. You can give your application a name. So root.title. Here you can give a name. I am giving PDF audiobook. So something like this. The next thing is root.resizable, and I am going to pass it 0,0. This means that anyone or any user will not be able to resize your window. Our window width and height will be fixed if you are passing this root.resizable 0,0. If you want your window to be resizable, just remove this whole line. Okay, and then you will be able to resize your window. But why I'm not using I do not want to make the window resizable, because our application is not flexible. Okay, so whenever someone resizes it, our widgets will not automatically are not responsive enough to automatically fit to the new size. Okay, that's why I have put root.resizable 0,0. Now the next thing is we are going to create an app equals application. Here we have to pass master equals root. Now the next thing is app.main loop. Okay, now see what we have done. We have created a simple window whose name is root. Now see here in the application class we have to pass a master. Now we want to pass this root window, which is our master, to our application. Here also we have written that whatever master will pass, we will initialize it as tk.frame. So our window will now work as a frame. So if I just run this, you will see a window will open here. Okay, so this is the window that we have created using these lines. Do not worry if you do not understand this part. From now you will be able to understand everything. Okay, so yes, this is the beginning. This is how you create a window. Now the next thing is we are going to create few things. So let's first of all we are going to create few frames here. So we are going to define a function or a method. Sorry, a function inside a class is known as method. So def draw frame, this is your method. One more thing, the code for this entire application is available in the video description. You can just copy paste from there if you get any error. Okay, so the frames, and here you have to always pass the first argument as self. Okay, the next thing is, so what we are going to do, let me just run this program once again. See, this is a window, and this is 400 pixels away from the this left side, and 120 pixels from the above side. 400 pixel is its width, 450 pixel is its height. So what I want to do is, I want to divide this whole frame in two parts. The first frame will be something like this, a square box which will store our pages, which will display our PDF pages, and the second frame will show the control buttons. Okay, so I want to divide this frame, whole frame, into parts, or window into parts. So let me just uncomment it. So first frame name will be self.display frame. You can give it a name. Okay, so how to create a frame? It's very easy. tk.frame. You know, we have inherited here it too. So tk.frame. Here you have to pass few values. So first of all, you have to pass self. Self here is where you want to create your frame. So our initial window name is self.master. You can also refer it by the name self. If you just pass self here, it means that we want to create a widget on our window, the root window that we have created. The next thing is, you have to pass the width. So I want width as 400. The next thing is height. You can pass it as 400. See here, our height is total is 450 pixels. So I want the first frame to be of 400 pixels height, and the control frame will be 50 pixels in height. Okay. The next thing is, you can pass a color. So I want to pass it gray 18. Okay, this is the color name, and you can simply pass it by the name in a string format. The next thing is, we are going to do is self.display frame dot grid. So you have to place it in our window. So here you have to pass the value of row and column. The row starts from 0, column also starts from 0. So row equals 0, column equals 0. Okay. Now the next thing is, I want to apply a property here. So self.display frame dot grid propagate, and here I want to make it false. Now what this line does is, basically the grid method of the tkinter geometry is very flexible. Okay, so it automatically adjusts itself. So I do not want that it should be able to adjust itself. That's why I'm using display._frame.grid propagate. Okay, I made it false, so our grid should not propagate around the window. Okay, so it's just that if you're creating using the grid method, just put this thing. Okay, self.displayFrame.grid propagate. This is our widget name. If I just run this, so before running this, we have to call it here. So self.drawFrames. So you have to just call it like this. So if I just now run this, you'll see our first widget is drawn. This is our first widget. Okay, here we will display our PDF pages. Done. Now we have to create another widget here, which is the controls widget. So let's create it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy it. Okay, let me just copy and paste it here. So I want it display frame, and the next thing is controls frame. So controls frame. Now see, I also I again want to create this on master window. So I here pass the self. Okay, here the first value is the parent on which you want to create a widget. So currently the parent is self, so we have simply passed the self here. You can also pass self.master, and it will not make any difference. Okay, so the first value is self, then the width is 400, but the height will be 50 pixels because our whole window height is only 450 pixels. So 400 pixel plus 50 pixel is this. Now here you can pass the color. So color I want is simply has 25. So see, we have used two methods to pass colors. The first one is the string method. You can pass the color by its string name, or you can pass a hash value. Okay, the next thing is self.control frames. Grid should be the row should be 1 and column should be 0. Now remember this, in our first row, this is we have placed our first widget. In the second row we have placed our second widget. So if I just now run this, you will see we now have two widgets here. So this is the first widget and this is the second widget. You can see it's little darker, and this has 25 it basically a color for a little darker black. Okay, something like this. So we have created two things here. Now the next thing is that we want to create is we are just now going to create the display frame widgets. Okay, so in our display frame, if you have noticed, we had two things. The first one was where the page was being displayed. Then there was a scroller on the x-axis and the scroller on the y-axis. Using that, we were able to move the two different parts of the frame or the page. Okay, so we are going to create these three things. Okay, the first one will be the canvas, then the scroll Y and the scroll X. So let's create it. So self draw display frame. So we are doing it. So display, and wait a minute, frame. Here you have to pass the first argument as self. Remember, you have to use small s, not the capital S. Then we are going to create the scroller on the y-axis. Scroll Y. So remember, you have to create the scrollers before creating the canvas. Otherwise, you will not be able to bind the scrollers to the canvas. Okay. So tk dot scroll bar. This is the method to create the scroll bar or scroller, whatever you say. So our parent has now changed. I want to create this widget on our display frame widget. Okay. Let me just comment these two lines. So see, now we have two parents here. The first one is this parent, which is the display frame, and the second one is the control frame parent. So if you want to create something on the control frame, you have to pass the parent as self.control frame. If you want to create something on the widget display frame, you have to pass the parent as display frame. Okay, done. So yep, this is it. So self.display frame. This is our parent currently. So display frame. Now the orient. You have to pass is a tk.vertical. See, since we want to create a vertical scroll bar, so we have to pass tk.vertical. Okay. Now you have to place it. So self.scroll y dot grid. Now remember, inside this parent frame, again the indexing will start from 0. So row you can pass 0 and column you can pass 0 1. Okay. So I will pass row equals 0 and column equals 1. Why not 0? Because on the 0 we'll be having the what we say we'll be having the canvas. So let me just run this so I will be able to explain. See, this is a window. What I want is I want to create a canvas up to this size, and then the vertical y scroll bar which will be here, and then the horizontal x scroll bar which will be here. Okay. So our row 0 will be something like this, and column 0 will be this, and column 1 will be this, while the row 2 will be this and column 0 will be this. Okay. So row 0, column 1, and the next thing is here we have to pass one more thing, sticky. So I want to stick it to the north south, pass ns. So it means it has to be vertical. Then we have to create the x scroll bar. So this is the y x scroll bar. Then we have to create the x scroll bar. So we can simply replace the name scroll x, something like this. Again, the parent is display frame. Orient will be tk.horizontal instead of vertical, since we want a horizontal scroll bar. Okay, so horizontal. The next thing will be row will be 1 and the column will be 0, and the sticky will be west to east. Okay. Wait a second. So yep, this is it. So we have created two scroll bars here. Now what we have to do, we have to create the canvas and bind our scroll bars to the canvas. So you can give this any name. I will be giving it as self.output. Again, the code is in the video description. You can just copy paste from there. So tk.canvas, and this is the way to create the canvas, and self.display frame. See, inside the canvas will be showing our PDF page. Okay, so self.display frame, and then you have to pass the color. So I want the color as same as parent, which is gray 18. The next thing is we have to configure our output. So self.output.configure. Here we have to pass several things like the width of the canvas. I want the width as 380 pixels. See, our parent frame is 400 pixels, so I want the width as 380 pixels, and 20 pixels will be our Y scroll bar. Okay, so width is 380 pixels, then the height is again 380 pixels. Okay, because in the bottom we'll be having an X scroll bar and our total parent height is 400 pixels. Now the next thing is Y scroll command. This is the thing by which you can bind the scroll bar that you have created through to this canvas. So Y scroll command, and here we have to pass self dot scroll Y. This is your widget name, and here you have to pass dot set. Okay. Now let's pass the next thing, which is X scroll command. So X scroll command, and here you have to pass self dot scroll Y. Again, this is the another widget, and scroll X dot set. Okay, so this was the second widget. So we have binded these two widgets to this canvas using the configure method. So Y scroll command is called self dot scroll Y dot set, and X scroll command equals self dot scroll X dot set. Okay, the next thing is we have to grid it. So self dot output dot grid, and row will be 0, column will be 0. Done. I guess now we have to do two more things here, which is self dot scroll Y. See, we have binded it. The next thing is we have to configure the working of these two things. Okay, so self dot scroll Y dot configure. Here let me just not do this. Let me just run it and show you to you. So self dot call, let's just call this function self dot draw display frame. So let me just run this. So as you can see, we have this canvas here. This is the X scroll bar, and this this is the Y scroll bar, and this is the X scroll bar. So we have created these two things here, three widgets: the canvas widget and two scroll bar widgets. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to configure these two things. So scroll Y dot configure, here you have to pass a command you have to pass here, which will be self dot output dot Y view. Now see what it means. We are configuring scroll Y so that it shows our Y view. Basically it means that it will be scrolling in the Y direction. Okay, so remember you to do this thing, otherwise your scroll bar will not work perfectly or correctly. Okay, so again here the X view, here we have to pass the X view. Okay, so let me just run this, and yep, so this is, now you can see there's no scrollable thing here because we have not loaded anything inside the canvas. Our canvas is currently full, so there's no need to scroll anything. Okay, currently empty, you can say, so there's no need to scroll anything. But once we create a display of page here, you will be see we'll get a scroll bar here to scroll our page. Okay, so we have created display frame successfully. Now let's create our control frames. Okay, so del draw controls frame. Now see, our control frames has few widgets. The first one is a button which will open our which will open our PDF file. Then we have two more buttons, the up button and the down button, which will move to the next or the previous pages of the PDF file. Then there's an entry box which will help us to search any page in the PDF file. Then there is a speak button, okay, which will help us to disable or enable speaking of or conversion of text to speech. Okay, then finally we have a page label, which is simply a label widget which will show us the page number on which we are currently on. Okay, so there are a few things or few widgets that we have to create. So let's create first the open button. So open file btn. So this is the first button that we are going to create. So here we are going to use ttk.button. Remember, we have imported it here, tkintern.ttk as ttk. Now you can create tk.button, but it's kind of old and I'm not going to use it. I'm going to use the ttk button. Now see, ttk module has definitions for modern GUI interfaces. So instead of tk.button, you can pass ttk.button. Use ttk.button. Okay. Now here we have to pass the parent frame. Now see, our parent frame here is controls frame because we want to draw this widget on the controls frame. Okay. So here we have to pass the parent as cell.controls frame. So let's just create it, cell.controls frame. Now here you have to pass a text, so it will be open file. Okay, you can pass anything. Now I am passing string here. In the next button we'll be using image, so I'll show you both way. Okay, here you have to pass the width of your button, so you can pass 10 here. The next thing that we have to do is yes, let's just do it. Okay, actually we have to combine the command to this button. Okay, so we want that whenever someone clicks this button should do something, but we'll do it later. Okay, so the next thing is we have to grid it. So self dot open file button dot grid. Here we have to pass row and column, so row equals 0 and column equals 0. Okay, now remember one thing, the widget open file button is on the parent controls frame. Okay, in the controls frame again the indexing will start from 0 of rows and columns both. Okay, this was first frame, so in it the indexing was starting from row 0 and row column 0, something like this. This is another frame, so again here the row and column will start from 0. Okay, I hope you are able to understand it. You can try passing some values so that you will able to learn how to where the things get placed. Okay, the next thing is you can pass pad x equals 5. It will pad our widget from the left side, and then you can also pass pad y. So I'm just going to pass pad y equals 10. Let me just run this so that I can show you what is the output that we have got. Self dot draw controls frame. Okay, so let me just run it. See here we have got a button here which says open file. If I just currently click it, it does nothing. Now see why we use TTK. As you can see, it looks more modern button. Also when I go over it, you can see there's a blue highlight. Okay, so this is the feature that is available in the TTK module but not in the TK module. Okay, so that's why we have used the TTK button. Okay, the next thing is we have to create two more buttons, which is the up button and down button. Okay, so self dot up button, you can give your buttons any name. I am using the up button thing, and let me just copy it and paste it here. So ttk dot button parent will be self dot control frames. Instead of text I'm going to pass the image here. Now see in the folder, or you can when you download the source code for this file, you will see there are few icons here, so you have to put all these icons inside the icons folder. Okay, this is a main.py, this is minor.py, this is a file that in it will be working in a minute, don't worry. And you have to create a folder icons and put all your icons in this particular file. So there's 5 icons currently: down icon, mute icon, speak icon, speaker icon, up icon. Okay, and then there's a PDF file sample. Okay, just leave it. So before using this, what you have to do, you have to load this image. Okay, so you have to just go there and you have to load this image. So for loading, for displaying the image, we need one more module which can be imported as from tkinter import photo image. Okay, as I said, I'll be importing classes as per the need. So currently we need the photo image. If you want to show image in your tkinter in window, you need this open image. So up icon, you can say up icon equals photo image, and here you have to pass file name. So file equals, see our file is in icons folder, so we'll simply pass icons and then the up.png. Okay, so this is the first image that we want to load. Let me just copy it and load all the images here, so we do not have to load it later. And here and here, so there are 5 icons, so I'm just going to load them just now. So down underscore icon, here you have to open down.png. Okay, the next thing is speak on underscore icon. So speak on icon. Let me just remove this underscores. Here we have to open the speaker.png, and here speak off icon. The next thing is speak off icon. So speak off icon. So this is the 4th icon that we want to load, and its name is mute.png. I do not need this 5th one currently, so let me just remove this line. So in Sublime you can select a line by Ctrl L and just remove it like this by pressing backspace. So here we have loaded 4 images. Now we can use it inside our button. Okay, so instead of text, what I want to do is I want to display this image here. Okay, instead of text. So here you have to pass, instead of text you have to pass the image. So image equals up icon. Okay, so this up icon is the image that you have just loaded. Now you can set its background. So let me just set it. bg equals has 25 25 25. Again it will be a little black color. And then the relief is a feature whose values are, there are several values, and here I am going to pass tk.flat, and again we do not need to pass the command currently here. So here we are going to grid it. So self.up underscore button dot grid. Here our on the row 0 we have the open file button. See, I want to place all the widgets in the same row, so I'll pass row 0 as the common. Only we have to change the column value. Okay, so I want to place in the column 1. Okay, and then pad x will be, let's say, 70,5. See here, I have passed only one value here, pad x equals 5. It means that from the x direction the padding will be 5 pixels, and the on the right direction too padding will be 5 pixels. Here I have passed two values. It means on the x direction padding will be 70 pixels, on the right direction padding will be 5 pixels. Then pad y will be instead of 10, let's just do 8. If I just run this program, you will see a new button here. Looks like I am getting an error. So let's see what's the error here. Yep. So here this is the error that we have got. Okay, so it's because I have used ttk.button. Now inside ttk you cannot put colors. Okay, you cannot set your button color. Okay, so let me just remove this thing here, and if I now run this, I'll be able to get this here. So see, this is the thing. Okay, so this is the up button. Let's just copy it and paste it once again, so we'll be able to create our down button. So down button, and here too we'll be having the down button. Parent is same. Instead of up button, what I want to do is down icon. Relief again is tk.flat, and the next thing is we have to pass grid it. Okay, so row will be 0. Here I want to place it on the third column, not on the second column, because second column there will be a search bar using which we can search the button. Okay, so column, instead of 1 it will instead of 2 it will be 3, and then the pad x will not going to pass it. I'm just going to pass pad 8. So if I just run this, you will be able to see the third button. So this is the third button that we have just created. In between this there will be a search bar using which will be able to search a certain page in the PDF. So self.page var. See, inside tkinter variables are not directly created like a equals 10 or b equals plus hello world, something like this. Here we have to create variables using tk classes. Okay, so here you have to pass tk.string var. It means that we want to create a string variable here. Okay, we'll need this, and that's why I am creating this variable. Basically this string var will store the page number that which we want to search. Okay, here you have to pass creating a new widget which will be entry widget. Now entry widget is simply, you can say, like search bar. Using this we will be able to search for a certain page. Again I'll be using ttk.entry, not tk.entry. Okay, so see, all the widgets that are available in the tk are also available in the ttk. Okay, only thing is that ttk are better over tk, but you cannot change colors in ttk. Okay, remember this one. So entry, and here we have to pass the parent. So self.controls frame is our parent here, and then the next thing is we have to pass a text variable here. What it means, we have to pass a variable which will store the content that someone is writing inside this entry. So we have created the variable here. So we are just going to pass the self.page var. So page var here, The next thing is that we want to do is we have to give its width. So width will be let's say 4. Okay, no need to, you cannot set height for the entry button. Okay, remember this thing, you can only set its width. So we have to grid it now. Cell dot entry dot grid. Here row will be 0 because I want all the things in same row, and the column will be 2. Okay, so column equals 2. So column 0 there's open file button, column 1 up button, column 2 entry, and column 3 down button. Okay, column 2, and you can pass padding. So pad y equals 8. So let me just run this. So see here we are getting a small entry button. Okay, here you can write page number, and whenever you will press the enter button, it will open this that page in this display this page here. Okay, so this is how you can create buttons and entries. Now we have to create 2 more buttons here. The next button will be the one using which we can turn on or off our speaker, and the another thing is a label which will show the page number. So wait a second, let me just drink some water. Yes, so cell dot speak button, speak btn. Okay, so tk dot button. Now I think I should get a little fast. So cell dot control stream, and the next thing is image. You have to pass image. So cell dot here I'm just going to use speak on icon. Okay, currently initially our mode will be speak off, means will not be able to play audio. Okay, so currently the speaker is off. Here you have to pass busy. So hash 25 25 25, you can pass it. Okay, the next thing is you have to pass a relief. You can also try not passing a relief tk.plat. Okay, and see what happens. Basically it will just put your it will just give a height to your button. Okay, I do not want that certain height, that's why I am passing tk.plat here. The next thing is you have to pass command, and we do not have any function currently, so we are not passing the command. Next, the thing is we have to grid it. So cell.speak button dot grid, and here you have to pass the row equals 0, column equals 4. Okay, and pad y will be again 8, and the next thing is we have to pass is pad x, which will be 55,5. So 55,5. Now I have only tested this already tested this value, that's why I am passing like this. Okay, the next thing is we are going to create a label. So cell dot page label. So let me just create it, then I'll show you. Cell dot page label equals tk dot label. Okay, here we have to pass the parent. So cell dot control frame is the parent. Then we have to pass text. Our text will be empty. The next thing we need to pass is color. So bg equals hash 25 25 25, sorry my fault. And then you have to pass the foreground. You can say is the font color. You can pass it like fg, and then you can define the font. Okay, so you have to define the font like this. First the font name. Here the font name is Papyrus. Okay, and then the font size 12, and then the style. So I want to make the font bold. Okay, then you have to grid it. So cell dot page label, and next thing is we have to grid it. So dot grid. Here we have to pass the row which is again 0, and the column which will be 5. Okay, now as I said, tkinter grids are very flexible, so they automatically adjust to themselves. So see, we have got all the things here: the open file button, these two up down buttons, then the speaker button, and here there's the label, but currently it's empty, that's why it's not displaying. Okay, you can try changing the value here. So let's say instead of 25, if I just say 67. So as you can see here, we are getting the label. Okay, but currently it's empty, that's why its size is this. Okay, So let me just make it 25. So this is the entire GUI that we have to create. Now what we have to do is we have to create functions and bind it to the button. So let's get started with binding functions. Okay, you can call it as the second thing or the second part of this video. Okay, so def open file. It is self. You have to pass self here. Now the next thing is we are going to create a temp path which will store the temporary path. Okay, and now see, to open files we have to import another module. So from tkinter import file dialog, we have to import it if you want to open files using tkinter. Okay, so we have imported it here. So file dialog dot open ask open file name. See, there are two things, ask open file and ask open file name. Remember to use ask open file name and not ask open file. Okay, because ask open file just opens the file. Okay, and here all we want is the name of the file that we want to open. Here the next thing is I want to import another module, that is OS module. Again, it's available by default. Here I'll create a variable which named is cwd, which is current working directory. So os.get cwd. Basically what it means that current cwd is the folder where currently the script is. So whenever this file dialog opens, I want it should start from the same folder where my script is. Okay, so that's why we have to pass one thing is, so initial dir. So the first directory it will open it is the current working directory, in which the folder where we are working. Now I do not want that the user should be able to open any type of file using this button, so I will restrict the file types. So here we have to pass something like this. So file types equals the only thing that I want the user should be able to, only type of file the user should be able to is open is this .pdf. Okay, so here is the name PDF and this is the extension which user should be able to open. Remember to pass a comma here. Okay, otherwise you will not be able to use this thing. Okay, so this is it. Then now the next thing is, if temp path, it means that if the user has selected some file. Okay, if the user has selected file, then only there will be some value in the temp path, otherwise it will be an empty string. Okay, now the next thing is, let me just create a variable here which will store the path of our file. Okay, so we are going to create few variables here. So self.path equals path, self.file is open. It will show, basically it will tell if the file is open or not. So currently it's no file is open, so we are just going to do something like this. Here we have to pass none. Currently there's no path in the path variable. And one more thing, self. Here you can say speaker on. Okay, currently the speaker is on, off, so we are going to pass false here. The next thing is, so yes, this is it. If the user has selected some file, then let me just print the file here. Print temp path. Okay, let me just run this, and here we have some error. So get cwd. Actually there will be no underscore here, so let me just run this, and let me just open a file here. Oh, sorry, we have not binded the function. Okay, we have to bind this function open file to our button. Okay, so that's how our button will know what you have to do. So here you can bind a function using command. Okay, so command equals self.open file. Okay, open file. So this is the method that I want to bind to this button. So now we have binded it. So let's just run this. So if I click it, you will see it open the file dialog and ask you to choose the file. Now you can see it only shows the PDF file, not any other type of file. Okay, so if I just click it and select OK, you will see this will print the name of the file. Okay, so we have some error here. Temp path. Okay, this is the thing. So let's run this again. Actually it was a spelling mistake. So if I just click it and click open, you will see I'll get the name of the file. So this is the file that we have just selected. Okay, the next thing that we can do is we can store this file name to our self.path variable. Okay, so we can use it later. So self.path equals temp path. Okay, done. Now it's good. The next thing is we have to do few modifications here. File name equals os.path dot base name. Okay, we have to use this function. It and you have to pass the cell.path here. Now the next thing is see here. Let's just go to our second second file here, and here what we are going to do, we are going to create another class PDF miner is extract the pages for us. Okay, text pages and metadata for the file. So import math, import feeds. Now see, feeds is the module that is the PyMU PDF module. You can install PyMU PDF by pip install PyMU PDF. I have a whole playlist on how to use PyMU PDF library. So you can just refer to this playlist to how to use import PyMU PDF library. You can install it pip install PyMU PDF. Okay. The next thing is from tkinter import auto image. Okay, and here we are going to create another class. So class PDF miner. You can give your class any name again. We are not going to inherit anything now. Here it will take few things. So def init. So the first value will be self. Okay, reference variable, and then it take the file path. See here, it will take the path that we have just printed here. Okay, that then only it will be able to open this file. Now the next thing is what it will do, it will create a cell.filepath variable, and let's store the file path in this variable here. The next thing is we are going to create open the variable. So cell.pdf. Here what we are going to do, feeds.open, and here we have to pass cell.filepath. Now remember, feeds is our PyMU PDF module. We are going to use open method to open the PDF file. Now we want to extract the first page here. So cell.firstPage, and here we have to pass something like this, cell.pdf. This is the PDF file that we have just opened, and here we have to load the first page. Remember, in the indexing in PyMU PDF starts from 0, so we have to pass 0 here. 0 means the first page. Okay. Now we want the width and the height of our first page. So cell.width, cell.height. Okay. Why we want width and height of the PDF page? Remember, the size of PDF files, PDF pages are different for different PDF files. Okay, and we want to display it in our canvas, so that's why we need to adjust this width and height of the PDF file. That's why we want this width and height of the file. Okay, page. So cell.firstPage. Remember, the width and height of all pages will be same. So if you want just if you know just the first page width and height, we can know it the same. It will be same for every page. Okay, so cell.firstPage dot rect dot width and cell.firstPage dot rect dot height. It will return as the width and height. Okay, so what we can do, we can just print it. Okay, so print cell.width and cell.height. Now the next thing is two things that we can do here is we have to adjust it. Okay, remember, so we have to adjust the page according to our canvas. Our canvas is not big enough to open this file. Okay, let me just pass it here. The next thing that here we can do is let me just show you so that you can understand it. So self.miner, but before using that you have to import this class. So this class is in miner.py file, so we have to import it. We can import it like this from miner, and this is your file name, import class name. So class name is PDF miner. So we have imported like this. Now we can use this class here. So let's create an object of this class. So cell.miner equals PDF miner, So this is your class name, and remember this class takes one variable or one value in initialization file path. So you can simply pass file path here, file path. So if I just now run this, you will see this function should be able to print the width and height of the page. Okay. So if everything goes fine, we should be able to see name file path is not defined. Oops, sorry, file name. It's file name, not file path. Okay. So let me just run this again, and yes, so see the width of the file is 612 pixels and the height of the PDF page is 792 pixels. Now see our canvas is not that much big. Okay, our canvas is only 300 pixels in width and 300 pixels in height. So basically we have to zoom it, okay, so that we can display our page in the canvas. So that's why we have to do some modifications here. Here I'm going to create a dictionary, zoom dict, and what it should do, here I will pass few values here first. 0.8, it means that if the width is greater than 800, we will zoom it to 0.8. okay, if the value of pixels, if the value of width is greater than 700 or equal to 700, we want to zoom it to 0.6. okay, if the value is greater or equal to 600 pixels, we are going to zoom it to 0.7. okay, and if the value is less than or equal to greater than around 500, we are going to zoom it to 0.8. See, all the values are less than 1. It means we are just going to shrink the size of our page. Okay, that's all and nothing else. Now see, we have to find the width and the height. So width equals, we have to adjust the new width and height. Okay, so here math.floor, this is a function. Basically just here what we are going to do, we are just going to divide the self dot width by 100 and then multiplied by 100. okay, let's just convert it to integer value. And the next thing is print width. Let me not print it. It will give us the value in this format, 800 or 700 or 600 or 500, something like this. Okay, see here our height width is 612. So what it will do, it will divide first 612 by 100, so it will become 6.12. okay, and we have applied math.floor here, so 6.12 will become 6. Math.floor returns an integer value, so our 6.12 will become 6, and then we have multiplied it by 100, so 6 will become 600. So our new width will be 600 instead of 612. Our new width will be 600. okay, finally we are going to get the cell.zoom value, so zoom dict, and here we can pass the width. okay, so now we'll be able to know what value we have to how much we have to zoom it. So remember our width has become 600, and for 600 we have passed 0.7 here, so we have to zoom our page by 0.7. okay, now here we are going to create a new function, def get metadata. okay, here we have to pass self. Remember you have to pass small s here, not the capital S. The next thing is metadata equals cell dot pdf dot metadata. Now remember cell.pdf is the PDF file that we have opened already. The next thing is number of pages. We have to know the total number of pages in our PDF file, so we can do something like this, cell.pdf dot page count. okay, it will return the total number of pages. I have already detailed explanation of all these methods of PyML PDF module, so you can just refer to this particular PDF playlist. okay, we have to return two things, metadata and page count. okay, so num pages. Now what we can do is we can create two more things. Let me just complete this application class, then we'll move to the use of it in the GUI. okay, then it will be better. So def get page, and again it will self dot page name, See what it means. A cell.get page, what it does is, do we need it right now? I guess we have to create it. Okay. We need it right now. So what it will do, see, what we are actually doing is, we will zoom our page, okay, then we will extract the page, convert it to PNG, and then display it to the canvas. Now canvas can show images, the Tkinter widget canvas can show images, so we are going to use this opportunity. We are just going to extract the page, okay, then convert it to PNG format, and then we'll display it to the canvas. That's all. So if self.zoom, okay, it means that if there's a zoom value, okay, if there's the value is 800, 700, 600 or 500, something like this, then what we can do, mat equals fits dot oops, we have to zoom it. So how to zoom it? So you have to do something like this, cell dot fits dot matrix cell dot zoom, okay. Now it means that we want to zoom our width to this particular value, zoom value, and then height to this particular zoom value. We are creating new width and height. Then we can do is pix equals page dot get pix map. It will return as the image, okay, page in the image format. Matrix equals mat. Else, if there is no zoom value, then we do not need to zoom our page, okay. So what we can do, we can simply pix equals page dot get pix map, get pix map, it will again return the image for the thing in image format, okay. So px1, here we are going to create a new variable, so fit dot pix map. We are going to do few things here, pix comma 0, okay. If pix dot alpha, if we are just going to use some modification here, else pix. Now what it means, if there is some image in the video, if there is some image in the PDF file, we have to apply transparency on it. So that's why we are passing pix comma 0. If there's no image, we can simply return the pix, okay. This one is faster and this one is little slower, but if there is some image in it, we do not want it to get distorted, so that's why we have to apply transparency here, okay. That's why I'm doing it. Now let's do this img data, and here px1 dot get image data, and here you have to pass the in ppm, okay. Just pass this and return photo image. I'm not going to explain this because this line is a little difficult, okay. All this, it means that we are extracting the image data in ppm, okay, and then we are going to convert it into a photo image. Remember, Tkinter is only able to display images of photo image classes, okay. That's why we have to convert it into photo image. Here we have to also convert our data into photo image. Here we can simply pass img data. So this function method is done. The final method is def dot get text, okay. It will extract the text for us. So get text, here again self and page num. Done. The next thing is page. Here we have to load the page that which we want to read, okay, or which we want to extract text. So cell.pdf dot load page. Using this method we will be able to read the PDF page. Using this method we will be able to display the PDF page. Using this method we will be able to show the PDF metadata like the writer, author name or something like this, and then number of pages, okay. Here we have to load the page num variable that we will pass. Here we will be passing the page number that we want to load, and then you can extract the text from PDF page, something like this, page dot get text. Here just pass text value, so it means that we want only the text and nothing else, and then simply return text. Our function is done now. We do not want to do anything more. Now we should be able to use it, okay. Now let's just move it here, so we will be able to now be able to use this. So cell dot miner equals pdf miner, self dot path. Instead of let's do this self dot path. Okay. Here file name equals os dot path dot base name print self dot path. Let me see if there's the output here. Okay, so see this is the full path, and the file name variable only contains this Ruskin Bond kite maker story dot pdf. The base name method returns only the last value. So this is the last value, Ruskin Bond kite maker stories. This is the name of the pdf by which we have saved your pdf file. Okay, so base name store this, but self dot path store the full path. Okay, now the next thing is data comma number of pages. Here self dot minor. This is your object. Now you can use this method get metadata to get metadata of the PDF file. So something like this. Here simply we can choose it something like this, call it like this. Now the next thing is self dot current page. We'll simply we want to start from page number 0, so we'll pass something like this, current page equals 0. Now the next thing is if num pages, it means that if it's a valid file, if there are a number of pages and it's not just an empty PDF or corrupted PDF file, then what you can do is self dot name equals data dot get. Okay, this data is basically a dictionary. Okay, and it stores several things like the title of the PDF file, author of the PDF file, publication date of the PDF file, and lots of many more things. Okay, so you can just extract the title. See, this get is the dictionary method. Okay, we know that either we can use this thing data title, or we can use this get method. Okay, now see, it's not necessary that all PDF pages have a title. Okay, that's why we are using the get, and here we are just going to pass -4. We are just going to replace the last 4 values of it. Then self dot author. Okay, if we use the indexing method like data, and then inside brackets if we just pass title, if there's no title we will get an error, but inside if in the get, if there's nothing we will simply get the file name. This is the file name. Okay, which is Ruskin Bond kite maker stories, and we have replaced the last 4 values, so we will not get .pdf but only this file name. Okay, if there's no title then returns only this, if there's title return that thing. Similarly for the author too, data dot get, here we are going to use the author, and if there's no author just replace none. Okay, we have to create 2 variables here, self dot none, self dot author and self dot none. Okay, name, sorry. So let's just create here self dot author equals, currently it's no one since no PDF file is open. Self dot name, currently no PDF file name, so none. Let me just create few more variables. Self dot current page, self dot current page equals 0 and self dot num pages, it will store the total number of pages in our PDF file. So self dot num pages is also none. Okay, I guess this is all the thing that we want. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, yes, so there are 7 variables. Yep, we are good to go now. Okay, so here we have stored self dot the title of the PDF in the self dot name variable, author of the PDF in this author variable, and let's just make self dot file is open true. Okay, and we have to call self dot display page, we have not defined it yet, and update data, so we have not, else else if it's a corrupted file, PDF file, what we can do is self dot file is open equals false. See, we have no file now open. If the PDF file is corrupted, we can simply make self dot file is open false. Okay, it means that no PDF file was open. Here we can also show an error. To show errors, we have to import another module from tkinter import message box. Okay, so import message box here. Now we can show errors using the message box module. So message box dot show error, Here you have to pass the first the title of the error, so we can pass PDF audiobook as the title, and here what we can do, cannot read file, simply means the PDF file is corrupted and we are not able to read it. Okay, so this is it for this function. We do not need this anything. Let me just try doing this. Print self.name and print self.author. Okay, so self.name, self.author. Okay, so let's just run this. Oh, sorry, we have to bind it again. So self.open. Okay, it was already binded, so we do not need to bind it again. So if I just click open file, select a PDF file, and if I just click it, you will see we will get few values here if everything goes fine. Dict object is not callable. Zoom dict. Oops, my fault. Here we have used the parenthesis, but we have to use this square brackets. Okay, that's why we have got this error. The next thing is let's just do this again. So open file, select this file. So this is the file name, Kitemaker, the book name, Kitemaker Stories, and the other is Ruskin Bond. Okay, so yep, this is it. Now let's display our image or page in our canvas. So for this we are going to create display page method. It will display our page in the PDF canvas cell. If 0 less than equal to self dot current page equal to num pages, self dot num pages. Remember, indexing in PyMU PDF start from 0. Okay, so what it means, if the page number that we want to show is in between 0 to the total and 1 less than total number of pages, then only we can show this page, otherwise we will get error. Okay, simply that's it. So we are going to do, we are going to do this img file, self.img file, and self.miner.get page. Okay, see here, this is the method that we have created here, get page. It returns as the photo image. Okay, so we can just call it like this, and this method takes one thing, that is a page number. Okay, so here you can pass, what you can do is self.current page, self.current page. Remember, self.current page is currently set to 0, so at first we will simply get the 0th page. Okay, now self dot we have to show it to our canvas. So you to show image to canvas, you have to do something like this, self dot output. This is our widget name or canvas name, so create image. Okay, and here you have to pass 0, 0. So it means padding from the x-axis, padding from the y-axis. Anchor will be NW, which is northwest. Here we want to display our image, and then the image equals self.img file. Okay, the image that you want to show. This is it. Also self.page label. Remember, this was the label that we have created. It's just behind the speak button. Okay, that was initially empty. So we can set it text, which will be equals to self.current page plus 1. See, indexing in the PyMU PDF is from 0, but we know that in actual PDF the page number is given from 1 to total number of pages. Okay, that's why I have added just 1. If you do not pass plus 1, the page number will show from 0, and we do not want it. Okay, now we want to apply the scrolling. Okay, but remove that. Let me just do this thing. Self.display page, self.display page. Let me just call this function, and let me just run this. So whenever I open this PDF file, you will be able to here we have got an error of int and none type, self.num pages. If there is there any error? Okay, I think I have not set something. Okay, yes, this is the thing. Self.num page is equals, we have to update it. Okay, so num pages, we have to pass num pages here. Now see, we have passed self.display page inside this open file because I want to execute simultaneously whenever the button is clicked. Okay, So that's why I'm calling it here. Let's just run this again, and this time we should be able to see the image. Okay, if everything goes fine, again we are not getting it. Likely there's an error. Name page is not defined. Where it was, here it was. Okay, so there's some error inside get page. So let's see. Okay, actually I have not loaded the page here, sorry, my fault. Self.page equals self.pdf.load page, and here we have to pass page num. It should work now. Okay, these are errors we often get, don't worry. I guess the video is getting a little longer. Again I'm going to get some error. Pix equals, now where is the error? Line number 28. Okay, so this is the thing that we are getting error here. So instead of self.page, let's just pass page. My fault, it's actually this time it should work. Yep, so it's working fine. Okay, we are able to see the image, but again see there's no scrollers here. Okay, because we have to do here one thing. If you want to able to scroll our image or canvas, what you have to do is you have to create something like this. Region equals cell.output.bbox tk.all. We are doing it so that we should be able to scroll our image. Okay, tk.all. The next thing is self.output.configure. Here we have to pass scroll region equals region. Okay, we have modified our image width and we have to configure our output here so that we can able to basically move around the image. So yep, here see we are now getting this this Y scroll bar is activated, this X scroll bar is also activated. Okay, yep, this is it. Now what we have to do next is we should be able to speak something. Okay, so this is the next thing but before that let's create a few more things. Def previous page, we should be able to move to the next in the previous page. Okay, it will help us to turn to the previous page. This method will help us to turn to the previous page. So if cell.file is open, remember it will get true if you have loaded the file successfully. Okay, so if cell.file is open, what we can do is if self.current page greater than 0. Okay, so what should we able to do? We should be able to subtract the current page, and what we should be able to do, subtract it by 1, and then again call the cell.display page. Okay, let's just call it something like this. Similarly, def next page, it will show us the next page. So cell, so let me just call it, let me just copy it and paste it here. Now we should be able to move forward to the next page too. So what we can do is to turn to the next loop. So if cell.current page is less than or equal to cell.numPages minus 1, it's same as saying that less than minus numPages, but I am doing this. So what we do to move to the next page, we have to just add +1. Okay, and then again we have to call the display page. Display page is this one. Here we have updated the cell.current page and then we are calling this display page. Okay, so now we have to bind it to it. So here how can we bind? We can bind it something like this. Okay, command equals self.previous page, and to this one we should bind command equals self.next page. Okay, so if I just now run this, we should be able to move forward and backward in our PDF file too. So currently we are at the 0 page, so this clicking this button will not do anything, but clicking this one button will add one. Also see this, our page number is getting updated, something like this. Okay, now this works, should work too. Yep, so it's working fine. Every page we are able to move forward and down, backward. Okay, so this is how you can do it. Now the next thing is, let's create the search page function. Okay, we should also search for a particular page. Okay, so def search page self, if self.file is open, self.file is open, what should we able to do? Page equals self.page var dot get. Now this is the variable that we have created here, where it was here, self.page var. This is the variable which is storing the value of the entry box. Okay, so since we have passed text variable equals self.page var, so this is the variable which is storing the page that is currently entered in the entry. Okay, so page equals self.page var dot get. The next thing is, what we can do, if page, okay, you can also say if page not equals, see the default value of the page var is a space, I guess, so that's why you can do something like this. If page not equals to this, okay, what we can do, we have to first convert into integer value. So self.pagevar.get, pagevar.get, you can do something like this, page equals int page, and that will be the same. So if 0 less than page less than self.num pages, here -1. So if page equals 0, oops, actually we have to do one thing here. See, we want the user should be able to enter the page number in starting from 1. Okay, so if you want to user to start from 0, so what we can do, you have to -1, put -1 here. But if you want that user should be able to search from page number 1, page number 2, then just add +1 here. Okay, so if page equals 0, then we have to page equals 1. See here what I'm do, here I want that user should search page number starting from 1 and not 0. Okay, else page equals page minus equals 1. Okay, done. Here self.current page equals page, we have to update our current page now. Okay, whatever the value is in this page variable, we have to set it to the current page. Now let's call this self.display page. Okay, and finally after doing this, we should empty the value of page var. Okay, self.page var, and let's just empty it. So if I we have to bind it to the search page function, search page or here. So I guess what we can do is, we have to manually bind it, I guess. Okay, so we have to manually bind it. So let's see how can we manually bind it. You can do something like this, self.master.bind. Okay, suppose someone presses the enter button, then what function we have to call? We have to call the self.search page. Okay, it means that whenever someone presses the enter button, we have to call this method we just created. So if I just run this, and let me just open this one, press enter, it opened here. Now if I just pass, let's say page number 12, press enter, it's not working currently. Wait a second. So here we have created one function, but if you run this currently, you will get an error. Okay, due to this error, my window just got pressed, so I have to recreate this video. So think it like the second part of this video. Okay, So let's get started. Remember here, if you want to bind it to your GUI using some button, what you have to do, you have to pass one more variable here, event equals none. Okay, you can simply pass an event here. Here also let's pass event equals none, because I want to bind these functions to buttons also. Okay, sorry, key presses also. So event equals none. So what we can do here is we can also bind this previous page and next button to buttons too. So let me just copy this. Okay, press and press this. So what I want is whenever someone presses the left button too, we should be able to left key, we should be able to move to the previous page. So I can pass left here, and instead of search page, what we can do is we can pass pre page here. Okay, so this is how you can bind your key presses to your GUI too. Okay, so I hope you learned this thing too. So right, and here what I want to do is I want to move to the next page. Okay, but remember, if you want to bind it to your buttons, what you have to do you have to do this. You have to pass event here. Okay, event equals none, otherwise you will get a long error and it will crash your window. Okay, in my case it does, because my system specifications are very low. So let me just run it and show you. So this time I should not get any error if everything goes fine. Okay, so if I just open it and if I just press the left right key, you can see yes, I'm able to move to the next page without here also I got an error. So invalid lateral int with base 10 space 0. Okay, so I have to do something again here, do not worry. And also if I pass 12 here, so 13 representer. So yes, I'm able to move using the enter button. Yep, so it's working fine, except that we have got an error here. So it's here, line 143 if page. Okay, so we can do here one thing. Again we are getting some error, so let it get printed everything. So I'll move. So here I have got the error. It says string object is not callable. Actually here I have done the mistake. We have to use the set here. Okay, and here let's do one more thing. If page and page not equal to space. Okay, now we should not be able to get any kind of this kind of error. Now let's move further and let's do some other functionalities. So another functionality that are left with us is speak and threading. Okay, it's nearly done. We have nearly done everything. So let's do the speak toggle. Okay, so def speak toggle. Here I want to pass self, and then again event equals none. I will also bind it to a key press in a minute. Okay, so speak toggle. If not, self dot speaker on. Basically it means that if the speaker is not on, then what you do, self dot speaker on true. If the speaker is not on, then we have to on it, and then we have to change the image of our button that we have created, speak btn, and you can set images something like this. Image equals since the image button is now on, so what we have to do, we have to set this image. Okay, speak on icon. So we can simply pass a speak on icon. Now then if it's not on, then what we can do, else what we do, we have to put self dot speaker on equals false if the button is currently on. If the speaker is currently on, we have to off it, and then again we have to change the image. So let me just copy it, paste it here. So I'm just going to make it off. Okay, so speak off. And yep, so let's just bind it to our button here, speak button, and we are just going to bind it. Command equals self dot speak toggle. Okay, speak toggle. If I just run this, I should be able to change things here. Okay, yes, so it's working fine. Wait a second, let me just drink some water. So we have successfully binded it. Now the functionality that left is we should be able to extract text, and the GUI should be able to read it. And then what else is read? We have to apply threading here. Okay, don't worry. So it's time to speed things up. For that we have to import another module, that is a PyTT-SX3. We have to install it. You can install it by simple command pip install PyTT-SX3. So after installing it, you have to import like this: import PyTT-SX3. Okay, yes, it's currently available, I guess. So import PyTT-SX3. Now we have to set few things here. So engine, first we have to create an engine so that we should be able to speak PyTT-SX3 dot init. We have to call it like this. The next thing is we have to set the volume. You can set the volume of your engine or the speaker using something like this: engine dot get property. Here first we have to fetch the property, and you have to pass volume here. Now then only you will be able to set it. So volume dot engine dot set property, and here you have to pass the property name, which is volume, and then whatever the original volume is, and then we are going to subtract it by 0.12. okay. Basically, if the engine is too loud, you can just decrease the volume of your engine or the speaker. Then you can also set the voices. Voices means if you want the male voice or the female voice. So let me just copy these lines here. So let me just copy it, and here instead of volume, what I want is voices. Okay, so first we have to fetch the property, then we have to set it. So voices. So let's say I want the female voice. So what we can do here, so voices 1 dot id. Now 1 is for female voice and 0 is for male voice. Okay, you can set it something like this. You can also set the rate at which the speaker speaks the content. So let's just set it to rate, because engine dot get property instead of voices. Now we want the rate. Rate is the number of words spoken per minute. Okay, so we can also set the rate here. So whatever the rate is, we are just going to subtract it by 30. Okay, so now the speaker will speak slowly, okay, and less number of words per minute. If you want that your speaker should speak faster, you can set the something by adding something here. Okay, so everything is done now, and now we should be able to speak, make the speaker speak. Okay, so def speak. We are nearly to the end of our tutorial. We are simply going to pass self here, and what we can do is, if self.file is dot open, it means if the file is open, then only the speaker should be able to speak. If self dot speaker on, again if the speaker is on, then only it should be able to read. Now we have to first extract the text from the PDF. Now see, we have already the function here get text, which will return the text of the PDF page. So we can simply call it self dot minor dot get text. My fault. Get text. Here we have to pass the current page. So self dot current page, you can pass it like this. Then what we can do is, you can simply call it like this. Here let's call self dot speak. Okay, now you will see some things here, few things here which you do not want to. Okay, so wait a minute. Here let's do one thing. Inside the display page 2, we are going to do one thing. If self dot speaker on, cell dot speak, but you will find the error just in a minute here. Okay, so if I just run this, name volume, error here, volume. So volume, let me just run this now, and we are you find something. So if I just run this, if I just click it, the speaker is not speaking, as you can see here. So what we can do is cell.speak, did I call it here or not? Everything is fine. Okay, I guess we have to create another function here. Let's create another function, def read. Here we are going to pass self, and here engine.say text. Actually it's my fault, I have not created the function completely, so here we have to call text here. Okay, engine.say text, and then engine.start loop. This is thing that we have to call. Okay, so once the extracted test is done, I have not made the speaker speak it yet. Okay, so we have to call this function here, which is cell.read. Okay, so cell.read, and here it should text say text one more thing, that is a text. So if I just pass text here, our engine should be able to speak now. If I just run this, open a file, press enter, and if I just click this, again there's some error, speak missing one required positional argument. So the speaker is still not speaking, and the probable reason, I guess it should be, is it should work now. Why it's not working? Why it's not working? Okay, so let's, what's the error? Why it's not speak text one positional argument? Okay, so we have to call the speak here, and here I guess some error, there's some error. Okay, so my fault actually. Yeah, it should not text this one. So if I should now run this, it should work fine now. So I guess it's not speaking currently. Yeah. So see, this was the thing that I wanted to tell you. If I click this button here, instead of speaking, my GUI just got hanged. Okay, this is what happens when you use speech to recognition in Tkinter. Here comes the concept of threading. See, our Tkinter GUI is currently working on the main thread, and what I've done here, I've tried to make the GUI speak something, and the GUI started speaking, but then what happened, the GUI part, which was the updating part, it got hanged. So what we have to do, we have to create another thread. The main thread should be able to respond to the GUI, and the thread that we are going to create, it should be able to speak things up. Okay, so that's why here we need the use of threads. Okay, see, as you can see, I am not able to cut it too. Okay, so I'm not able to cut it. It's just got hanged, something like this. So let me just leave it like this. So that's why we are going to need a thread here. So we have to first create a thread. So for creating thread, you have to import another module, that is import threading. So import threading, and using this we can create threads. Now what is a thread? You can see basically it acts as a separate process. We can divide our GUI in two parts. The first process will be to update GUI according to the button clicks, display it, and the another process its job will be to speak things or the text that we are want to speak. Okay, so for this, how to create thread? It's very easy. So you can see it's currently still hanged. So okay, so that's why you need threads. So thread equals here threading. This is the module name. Inside it we have a class thread which can help us to create thread. Here you have to pass the target. It's simply the function that you want to run. Okay, so the function that I want to run is cell.read. Now see, you cannot just call it by using parentheses and pass text here. Instead there's a different way to call it using parameters. So here it takes the args, and here you have to pass a tuple value, and the first value that it is taking is text. Okay, so that's how you can pass argument to it. And then daemon equals true. So daemon equals true. Now the next thing is thread dot start. Now we do not need to this line. We do not need this line. We have just passed this function to this thread. Okay, so the job of this thread is to just read the things, and the main thread of the GUI of the tkinter is to display or update the our GUI. Okay, here I have to call one thing, cell.poll thread. This is the another method that I will be creating in a minute. So here we have to pass a thread. The job of this poll thread method will be to check if the thread is alive or not. Okay, so it's a little advanced concept. And poll thread, see here, what is this? First of all, we have created the thread, and then we have started the thread. Now we have to also check if the thread is dead or alive. Okay, when the job, the read function is done, the thread will become dead. Okay, so we have to also take care of it. So if thread dot, sorry, it takes a thread here. If thread poll thread, and it's to take a self. Okay, since it's a method of the class. If thread dot is alive, if the thread is currently alive, what we have to do, we have to poll it after 100 milliseconds again if the thread is alive or not. So lambda and self.poll thread. Basically you can check if the thread is alive or not. So we do not have to check every millisecond. So I'm just checking if the thread is alive or not every 100 milliseconds. Okay, so cell.after is a method of the you can say tkinter. Okay, this is a threading concept available in the tkinter, and this thread is available outside the tkinter. Okay, again this you can simply use the cell.after to read the things, but again this will hang your GUI quite often. So that's why I am not using it. I am just using it to check if the thread is alive or not. Okay, else if the thread is dead, we do not have to do anything. We will simply pass it. Okay, and yes, now it should say do our job. Cell.poll thread here. Let's just run this. Now it should do the job. Again we have some error, but see, this time our GUI didn't hang. Okay, so it's still not closing, so it's working fine. Cell.say text and engine.start loop, everything is fine here. Why I'm not getting the output here? Cell.speak version 2. Here we can pass engine.end loop to stop the engine, and why it's not working? Why it's not working? If cell.speaker on, cell.speak, everything is fine. Here I guess I have to do one more thing. Cell.update idle tasks. It updates event loop and updates all the GUI properties here. You can call it like, okay, cell.update. There's two methods, cell.update and cell.update idle tasks. Cell.update updates all the things of the GUI, and idle tags only update the things that which are idle. Okay, so again everything is fine, but why we are not getting the output? This is the matter of concern now. So if I just open file and okay, so I guess
Ruskin Bond.
yep, so yes, this thing. Okay, so it was my fault. In the first page there was no text, that's why we are not getting the output. So here again we have some error, but this time it's working. Run loop already started, 193. Okay, so we have to end loops too. So what we can do here, we have to end this loop, okay, running loop, before moving to the next pages. So what we can do, we have to check here if self dot speaker on engine dot end loop. Okay, this doesn't work, this doesn't do any hanging thing to your GUI, but it's just that it will give you an error like this. Okay, here also we can put this thing, engine loop. Okay, so if I just now run this, I guess it should work fine now. So
Ruskin Bond.
yep,
The Kite Maker. Contents. About the author.
so it's not hanging now, as you can see.
Penguin Evergreens. Lively Father.
Yes, we are also
Lively Father.
able to toggle the speaker. Okay, so I guess this is the enough. Engine.poll thread, we have nearly did everything. Only thing that are left are we have to bind few things to our GUI. Okay, so let's see how can we bind those things up. So we are going to do few more things. This is out of the box. These are just some additional features that I want to include in my GUI. If you do not want this, you can just leave it like this. So what I want is, I want to create a bound to mouse wheel. See, what we have to do, we have to manually scroll, click the scroll bar, and we have to drag it down to move the things. If you do not want that, you can bind it to a scroll wheel. Okay, so cell dot output dot bind all, and here what we want to bind is, we want to bind the mouse wheel to, what do we want to bind? We want to bind to self dot on mouse wheel. This will be a method that we are just going to create in a minute. Mouse wheel. So the next thing is, we have to create a new function, def unbound to mouse wheel. Here we have to pass self and then event. Now all the things that are happening on the GUI, all the touches, all the clicks, and these are called events. Okay, so self dot output dot unbind all. Here we have to again pass the mouse wheel. And the next function is def, sorry, these are methods. So on mouse wheel, remember this is the method that we have just called here. So it takes self and then event, and then what it does is, what I want is, if you scroll, use your mouse wheel, our page should be scrolled up and down. Okay, we do not have to manually click the scroll bar and bring it down in order to move our page. Okay, so what we can do, that's why I am just binding it, self dot output dot y view. Remember, once again, our GUI part is done. I am just adding some additional features here. If you do not want that, you can just leave it like this. Okay, you do not have to do the things. So event dot delta slash 120 and units. Basically what it will do is, will find the position of our mouse wheel, divide it by 120, and then move it down or up in these particular units. Whatever the value that is get, it will convert it to integer and then move up or down in units. Okay, so if it's the value is -1, then we'll get we will move upward. If the value is in positive, we will get downward. Even dot delta is already, if you scroll your mouse wheel up, even dot delta will be I guess negative. Okay, I don't remember that much. And if you move it downwards, it will be positive. Okay, so whatever the movement is, whatever the amount of movement that you have done is stored in even dot delta, we have divided by 120, and then we are just going to move that much unit to up or down. Okay, if I just run this, I should be able to okay, is there some error here? Looks like on mouse wheel everything looks fine, so what may be the error? It's 213. I guess we have some error. First of all, Y view, and then here it will be scroll and not only Y view. Okay, so int -1 multiplied by even dot delta slash 120, and let me just run this now. So see, the one way is to manually click this scroll bar and move our page up or down. Another way is to just now you can scroll, but we are not able to scroll, and we'll just see it in a minute why we are not able to scroll. Okay, so why it's not working on mouse wheel? Actually it was bounded correctly, then again it's not working. What can be the thing? Okay, let's create some more method, then I will check it. Def on go up. See, it will again if you press the up keyword, it will move your page a little up. Okay, so event. Now what we can do is self.output dot y view scroll. Okay, and then -1 units. Okay, so if it goes up, then if you are creating the up mouse key, keyboard key, then I want to move it 1 units up. Okay, and then if you want to press down arrow key, I want to move a page down by +1 unit. Okay, so go down. So Y view scroll in this units, and I guess we have to also define a Y view here. Y view self and star args, and then if self dot output dot y view equals 0.0 and then 1.0, this is the maximum that can happen, return self dot output dot y view and pass star args. Now it should work fine, or still I am maybe missing something. Yes, I am still missing something. Left and right buttons are working, but up and down are not working. But our GUI is not hanging ultimately. So bind all mouse wheel self dot on mouse wheel, it's correct. Self dot output dot unbind all mouse wheel, it's also working correct. Self dot y scroll int -1 multiplied by event delta 120 units -1 unit 1 unit. I have to do something, I guess, here. This will be the last thing that we are going in the program or the project. Okay, let me just copy this line sorry, here if someone press return to, we want to self.search page, okay, it's my fault, actually it's all my fault. Okay, here is the problem. See, the enter key in the master enter key is actually denoted by return value. Okay, this enter, it means that we have our mouse is entered in the GUI. So let me just do this. Here the thing, see, if the mouse I have is outside the window, our scroll bar will not work. If it's inside the window, then only our scroll bar will start working. Okay, so that's was my fault. This enter means our scroll mouse is inside the GUI now. So here what we have to do, we have to bind it. Okay, so self.bound to mouse wheel, and if our GUI goes outside the window, it should become unbound to mouse wheel. Okay, that's all, except that we have to use leave here instead of enter. Now everything is working fine. Only thing we have to do is we have to bind up and down buttons too. So we will bind it here. So self dot, let's just copy this and paste it here. So we want to bind with the up key and then the down key. What functionalities we want to bind? Here we want to bind go up, and here we want to bind go down. Everything should work fine now, and this will be the end of our tutorial. Now see the thing, the class name or method name that we start with underscore are private methods, while if there is no underscore in the beginning, it's a public method. So if I just now run this, everything should work fine, instead of if I get some error. Unbound to mouse wheel, unbound. Okay, here's the thing, unbound to mouse wheel. So if I just now run this here, yes, so see, we are able to move based on my mouse. I am also able to move page up and down based on up or down key. Also able to change pages, and also I should be able to read file.
Like my father.
Yes,
During my
so it's
childhood
working
and early
perfectly.
boyhood. Like my
Yes,
father.
here I can also search by page number. Just enter, and it's yes. So everything is working fine. So this is how you can do it, except that I should try passing 0 here.
Like my father. During my childhood and early.
Except there's something I'm missing here, because voice 1 should be actually here. This thing is voice. Voice 0 is for male, and voice 1 is for female. Okay, so let me just try it once again. So let me just search between.
40 when he had joined up.
Yes, so it's working fine perfectly. So this is how you can set the change your male and female voices. Here you can add something to make the speaker speak fast. Okay, so this is it for the video, guys. I hope you learned a lot of new things in this tutorial. So if you love this video, leave a like or a dislike. If you're new to my channel, subscribe it. Thank you. See you in the next video, and I will see you in some next project. Okay, so yep.